What is a Purchase CEMA in New York City real estate? A Purchase CEMA is one of the most confusing and lesser known topics in the city, which we will aim to demystify in the following video. For those who aren't familiar, I'm Nick at Hauseit. Hauseit is the largest buyer agent commission rebate and for sale by owner company in New York City, established in 2014. Visit us at hauseit.com to learn about ways you can save money when buying and selling real estate in New York City. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'd love to hear from you with any further questions or ideas for other topics. So, what is a Purchase CEMA? Well, we already mentioned that the majority of industry participants have no idea what this means. Consequentially, most consumers, buyers, and sellers have no idea what this means, again, because most agents and many attorneys have, again, no idea what on earth this means. Well, we're going to tell you exactly what it is, how it works, and why you should not forget about it when you're buying or selling a property in New York City. More specifically, a Purchase CEMA is a strategy for reducing closing costs on the purchase or sale of real property in New York City. A Purchase CEMA is applicable to condominiums and houses, but it is not applicable to cooperatives because co-op is not a form of real property. Purchase CEMA itself stands for Purchase, Consolidation, Extension, Modification, Agreement. The Purchase CEMA itself would only assist you in saving money if the seller has an existing loan balance on the property that is being sold. The act of utilizing a Purchase CEMA is to assign the existing loan balance from the seller to the buyer, thereby reducing the amount of new loan money which must be originated and recorded with the City of New York. The act of assigning the current loan balance, as opposed to recording a new mortgage, alleviates the need for the purchaser to pay the mortgage recording tax on some or all of the loan balance associated with the purchase. The mortgage recording tax is one of the largest buyer closing costs in New York City.
The mortgage recording tax is 1.8% for loans below $500,000 and 1.925% for loans of $500,000 or more.
Therefore, the Purchase CEMA allows some or all of this particular buyer closing cost to be eliminated. In addition, a Purchase CEMA also allows the seller to reduce her or his seller closing costs. More specifically, it helps the seller mitigate the New York State transfer tax on the sale. Any amount of the loan balance which is assigned to the purchaser would alleviate the need to pay the New York State transfer tax on that particular portion of the sale price. The New York State transfer tax is 0.4% to 0.65%, depending on the property type as well as the sale price. So just to summarize, a Purchase CEMA saves both the buyer and the seller money. The buyer saves money on the mortgage recording tax, and the seller saves money on the New York State transfer tax. A Purchase CEMA is a no-brainer if you're buying a property and financing and the seller has an existing loan balance and you're purchasing a condominium or a house. You can calculate the amount of potential savings with a Purchase CEMA using the Hauseit Purchase CEMA calculator available at hauseit.com. Here's an example of how we would use the calculator to figure out how much money can potentially be saved using a Purchase CEMA in New York City. Let's assume that the outstanding seller loan principal is $500,000. The buyer loan amount is $1 million, and the sale price is $1.5 million. The property type is a condominium. The buyer mortgage recording tax without the Purchase CEMA is $19,250, whereas with the Purchase CEMA, the buyer's mortgage recording tax is reduced considerably to just $9,625. That is a savings on the mortgage recording tax of $9,625. On the side of the seller, the New York State transfer tax without the Purchase CEMA is $6,000. With the Purchase CEMA, the seller's New York State transfer tax is reduced to $4,000. The transfer tax savings is therefore $2,000. And if we add up the mortgage recording tax savings with the New York State transfer tax savings, we have a total figure of $11,625. This is money that doesn't go to the government, and instead it goes to the buyer and the seller in the form of reduced overall closing costs associated with the transaction. One important thing to keep in mind with a purchase CEMA is that you can't just do this as a purchaser without the authorization and permission of the seller. The seller has to agree to allow their existing loan balance to be assigned to the purchaser. Furthermore, the seller's lender must also be open in principle to allowing the loan balance to be assigned to the new purchaser. Therefore, although the buyer stands to save much more money on the mortgage recording tax than the seller stands to save on the New York State transfer tax, it's usually the case that the buyer and the seller negotiate and agree to split the savings equally. After all, the seller has the most leverage. You need the seller's permission. At the same time, the buyer has a lot of savings to offer as well. So usually it's split 50-50. But in some instances, if perhaps the buyer is paying full ask and as a seller you never even thought you'd get a price anywhere close to that, and then they ask for all of the savings from the purchase CEMA, well, it's not a lot of money at the end of the day compared to the purchase prices in New York City. We hope you found this video helpful. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're looking to buy or sell real estate in New York City and you're curious as to how you can save money when doing so, give us a shout and check out our website, Hauseit.com. Save up to 6% as a seller in New York City and save up to 2% or perhaps more as a buyer in New York City. Thanks for watching.